Hello. In this AWS restart program, I wish to demonstrate about this lab number 11, that is in CF, this introduction to Amazon EC2. This is the first lab which we are doing, especially in this cloud foundation. So I just explain about some of the important features in this particular lab, and also certain important precautions also how to set up this lab. So here, first and foremost thing, before I explain about the lab contents, you can just start the lab. You can just start the lab and wait till this AWS red has come to green. Okay, I just press this start the lab. The sandwich stops once the lab infrastructure is ready. Okay, so it will take about 2 to 3 minutes of time to get the lab resources ready. Now it is yellow. Wait till it is come as green. So the objective of this lab, the topics which will be covered in this lab is: launch a web server with the termination protection enabled, monitor your EC2 instance, modify the security group that your web server to use to allow HTTP access. So we will be also verifying that the website is ready or not. Resize your Amazon EC2 instance to scale, explore EC2 limits, and test the termination protection. Finally, we are going to terminate this EC2 instance. So this lab, the total duration is about 45 minutes. So these are the objectives which we need to cover. So the first part, accessing the AWS management console, we are almost through. So the screen is, the AWS status is still showing as yellow. So once this is green, we can start this lab. So how do we do that? So once this lab is ready, you can press this AWS so that you get a new window where you can launch your AWS instance. So just let us wait till the AWS status comes to green. Yes, it has come to green, and you can see this status also, the creation time and also remaining time. 1 hour is given for us to complete the lab. Okay, fine. So what I can do is I can press this green button, a new window will start. If you get this type of error, just log out here and then close this box, and then once again click this AWS. Okay, so that was an indication that there is some previous session which has been stuck. Fine, this is your console, this is your AWS management console. Now let us go with the first task, launching your EC2 instance. So yes, we are already in the EC2 dashboard. Yes, let us go to the EC2 dashboard by clicking. Yeah, this is your EC2 dashboard. You can see here instance running 0, and of course instance is 0, elastic IP 0, key pairs 1, placement group 0, only one key pair is there. Snapshots are 0, almost all 0 with security groups 2. Okay, security groups is nothing like a firewall for our local system, for our instances. So what we do is we have to launch instance. Okay, so how do you launch instance? Please press this launch instance, this one. So a separate, you have multiple steps here. The first step, you see this, in step 1, naming your instance. So please follow exactly the same instructions what is given in this particular lab to work, to get our results faithfully. The web server, the name of the box can be given as web server. I give the same name, and here the application and OS images. See this one in the second step. So just leave as it is. Locate this instances. Ensure that under AMI you select this Amazon Linux AMI, which is by default. Okay, so in quick this is the one. If there is something else which has been selected, please select only Amazon Linux, and you should see in description Amazon Linux 2 kernel, that is the one which is there, and this is selected. Now the next step, that is instance type, choosing the instance type. So here select t3.micro, which is there in point number 11, t3.micro. Okay, so it is t2.micro which is given, but for us we can select t3.micro. Please don't try in this free tier environment, that will be chargeable. So t3 micro, it can be tested only in your restart program. Okay, t3 micro has been selected. Okay, configuring a key pair. So in the key pair login, proceed without a key pair, not recommended. It's okay. So here he has mentioned proceed without a key pair. Even though we have a key pair called as voc key, he mentions that as far as the exercise, proceed without a key pair. We have done that. In network settings, so the next one is network setting. You need to select this edit lab VPC, okay, that is the one which we need to select. So scroll down, so just say edit, and under VPC please select, don't select this particular one, select this lab VPC as per the instructions. Yes. So public subnet 1, don't change anything. Okay. Let us go through still further. Still in network settings, configure the following. Security group name required. So this is the one, web server security group. Okay. So here you see this one. In this security group name, instead of launch wizard 1, provide this security group name as this, and the other one security group for my web server. So he is telling you to create a new security group with the following names. Yeah, security group for my web server. Fine. So in inbound security group rules, so that is your security group, just select remove. So by default you can see that port number 22 will be given. So he asked us to remove all in this our security group. Fantastic. So yes, adding storage. So in the configure storage, keep the storage default configuration. So this is 8 GB of default storage can be given as it is, right. So the next step is that configure advanced details. In advanced details, point number 18, you have to expand that and you have to enable this termination protection. So I am expanding. Okay. So scroll down, we need to enable this termination protection. See this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In this termination protection, set that enable. Go through all this, but for now do as it is, don't change any of the other values. Termination protection is enabled, and copy the following. So as it is, this is the web server, the syntax is as it is. You are initializing the bash. So yum install httpd, you are installing Apache web server, and then you are starting. Enabling means you are basically putting in the startup script and then starting this httpd server, and echo HTML hello from your web server means this is the one which will be displayed in your website with h1 heading, and this will be redirected to index.html under location where www.html. Just don't change any of these things, just copy, right click, say copy and paste it in your, just scroll down, still scroll down in user data, say paste. Okay. So yes, in step 8, the launching of an EC2 instance. So in the right you can say launch instance and view all instances. Yes, I can see that if all things are proper, then you can say launch instance. So this will create an EC2 server for all of you. Okay, it is successful. You should get this message as successful. Scroll down and go to view all instances. So now the server is ready, is getting ready. You can see this, the status is running, but the status check is still under initializing. You can select this particular instance to see more details. I think with this we have completed task 1. You should see this instance status is running and status check as 2 by 2 passed. So here I can see this instance running, wait for a minute or two, and then this refresh this box. So refresh this box, you should get status check as 2 by 2 okay. So if you are not getting, just wait for 2 minutes and then try to refresh once again. Let me wait. So, the very idea is that the status check, once it is ready, it's okay, the system performs all this kind of checks. So, you can see this system status checks and instance status checks. If there are any errors in creation, it will try to correct and make it okay and it's made available to the users. Okay. So, I need to wait a little bit more time. Now, I think the status check should be almost getting ready. Yeah, it is now showing as running. Okay, status checks also should be first one is ready and the second one should be ready within soon. Okay, now you can see that the status check is 2 by 2 passed. So, this completes the task A, task 1. Monitor your instance. So, here please understand this. So, status checks, yes, we have gone through both of these things, system reachability, this is status checks, the system status check and instance, both of them are passed. Okay. So, select the monitoring tab, select monitoring tab. You can see this in monitoring tab, the tab displays CloudWatch metrics like your CPU usage or like many things which will be there. Where is this monitoring tab? But for this you have to see that the server is selected always. So, here at the bottom you can see, you can even little bit extend the CPU utilization. You see there is a dot every 5 minutes. By default it captures the metrics and then pushes into this graph. Like there are many other status, health check failed or passed or anything, network usage, network in, network out, network packets, and also your disk reads, disk writes, okay, operations, etc. CPU credits, all these things will be collected and pushed into this monitoring tab. Okay, this is called as metrics. Okay, under actions, monitoring and troubleshoot, get the instance screenshot. This is one good element for us to check whether this system is able to boot it properly without any errors or not. So, I just see this get instance screenshot. So, yeah, I can see the screenshot. This is how the console looks like. Amazon Linux kernel, the login has appeared, it is there on the console. So, it is perfect. This is one good area of how you can check whether the system is ready or not. So, select cancel. So, this completes our task number 2. Okay. So, let us go with task number 3. Update your security group and access web server. So, now see this particular one under details. Okay. You can see this public IPv4. So, here these are the details. This is my public IP. What it means to say is that open a new browser and try to press Ctrl V and see whether the website is running or not. It will say its sandwatch goes on, but it will not. After minutes time, it will say that website not displayed. That is because of the security group is not yet enabled. Okay. So, what we are going to do now is that in the navigation pane, select the security groups, network and security. Okay. Under that, we need to select this web server security group and we need to select the inbound rules and add this rule. So, how to do that? You see this one, the site can't be reached. So, just scroll down, you see this network security, security groups. So, we know that we have created this web security group. Select this web server security group, scroll down, you can see this in inbound rules. So, in inbound rules, we do not have any rules specified. So, I edit this inbound rules. Okay. Please do not disturb any of these additional rules. If you have, add rule in TCP, select HTTP only. This is HTTP port number 80. Under source, you can say anywhere. Anywhere means 0000/0 and say save rule, means that you are allowing port 80 for this particular server. This is a firewall. Now, please verify. Please try to refresh. Your web server should run. Your website should function. So, if you are having the successful, functioning, then your task 3 is done. Task 3 is done. Congratulations. You have successfully modified your security group, and this is a very, very important task for all of you. And task 4, resize your instance type and EBS volume. So, first thing is that how to stop the server. So, this is the server. Go back to your instance dashboard, instances, this is your instances. So, instance, select the instance, if it is already tick mark, fine, and just say instance status, stop the instance. So, to do any resize of your server or like your CPU or sorry of your server or your hard disk or disk size, you need to stop the server first. Try to refresh. Yes, it is trying to stop. After a few seconds, it will stop the server. So, sometimes you may see that it may vanish from your dashboard, okay. You see this like this, after stopping it will not be there in your dashboard. So, what you can do, and your web server also will not run now, will not run because the server is stopped. Yeah, it is stopped. If it is not showing, click this instances and just see the instances, okay. So, now we have stopped. We have to change the instance type, okay, to T3 micro to T3 small. So, this is again you need to do only in restart, not in free tier lab, because there will be some charges if it will be occurred if you are not doing in restart, okay. So, yeah, let us change this particular one. Select the server, under actions, instance settings, change instance type. So, it is T3 micro. He asked us to change it to T3 small. So, scroll down, these are various type of instances. So, scroll down, RST, it is alphabetically organized, T3 small. So, I changed from T3 micro to T3 small and say apply. Okay. So, this instance type has been changed now. Also, we have one more task to be done, that is resizing our EBS volume. So, select volumes, elastic block store and modify volume from 8 GB you need to change to I think something like 10 GB. Let us do that. So, scroll down in the navigation pane, scroll down in elastic block store, press this volumes, you have this 8 GB volume, select this 8 GB volume. Under actions, what you can do, modify this volume from 8 GB you can increase to 10 GB. Don't change any other parameters. So, I made it to 10. Don't change any other parameters, just leave as it is and just say modify. You will get a window, say modify, and this is done. Requested volume modification for volume is being modified, it will modify in a minute's time, and then once you start the server, it will automatically take the new size, that is now instances. You can see this one, go back to instances, you see that the server is still stopped. What you can do, you can start the instance, the instance is successfully started. It will take a minute's time, the initial status will be pending. Once the server is completely booted, you can see that the server is changing to running, and after 2 or 3 minutes the status check will come back to 2/2 passed. Okay, congratulations, you have modified your EC2 instance. Now you are in T3 small. Okay, you have also modified your disk volume from 8 GB to 10 GB. This completes task number 4. Now task number 5. Let me wait till the server is fully booted, status check, you can see this one. But remember one more thing, the previous IP has been changed. The previous IP is 34.219.207.254. The new public IP is 54.212. You can verify after a minute's time whether your website is running or not. Yes, it is running. The previous one won't be, IP has been changed. Okay. So, yes. So, now let us understand about the limits. So, in the top left navigation pane, select limits. You will now search for the limits of instances. Next to the search bar, there is a drop down box. Select the instances and read through the results. That is all. It is not a major one, but still you can understand. These are the limits. These are various limits which are there, all limits. You can just say EC2 server. or maybe, so here you see limits, drop down box, select instances, okay, you can select instances. Where is that? Running instances, I can say. These are the limits which has been specified. You can see the reserved instances 20, security groups none, many things. This is only for your understanding. Okay, task number 6, that is the last one, test termination protection. So how to do that? So in instances, the web server terminate instance. So go back to your instances, select your web server and instance state. If I try to terminate, it's not. You can see this one, the option itself is totally disabled. So how do we do that? Because this is because this instance while creation itself, we have created that termination protection. So first we need to disable that, and then only we can terminate the instance. So how do we do that? Terminate instance. So under actions, instance settings, change termination protection. Select this instance, see this one, under actions, instance settings, change termination protection. So earlier it is enabled, please disable this one. Now this instance can be terminated. Remember, termination means the instance server will never come back again. It is totally thrashed completely, and under no circumstances the instance can again be brought back. If you are totally for sure that the instance is not at all required, so this can be terminated. So now the settings has been changed. So now let us terminate. This is the last step of our exercise. Let me do that. So in instance state, so instance settings, so I have disabled, just to save. Probably you need to refresh this one to get the sandbox change. Yes, now the option has been highlighted. You need to refresh that. Just say terminate instance. This is the last step in our exercise of this particular one, 11. So this instance is shutting down and it will be terminated. So this termination will be reported again once this is completely terminated. So congratulations, you have successfully tested termination protection and terminated your instance also. So okay, once you see this message with the instance state as terminated, it will go for termination. You have to wait for a minute's time. It will shut down. Yeah. So once it is terminated, what you can do is that you can choose end lab. Okay, end lab, and then yes. So this is your end lab. You can also submit and see your grades. Okay, submissions are recorded. I think grades are not fully functional, is not yet enabled. Okay, so you can end this lab. So by ending this lab, the total resources gets destroyed and no resources will be left. Okay, please do not forget to end lab. Okay, that's all in this lab of introduction to EC2, introduction to Amazon EC2. So let us meet again in a different lab. Thank you and bye.